Well, hello everyone, I am the Orca Theory, and today we are continuing with a little bit of Dark Souls 3. We've got a couple of things to do, but first we are going to get back to the Firelink Shrine. That means I need to use a Homeward Bone, because it is a awfully long journey from here. These Homeward Bones, they bring you to either the Shrine Bonfire or the Bonfire last rested at. We are going to go to the Shrine Bonfire. Some of the things we need to do, as you saw, I have an Undead Bone Shard, which will increase the efficiency of my Estus flasks. We have a Estus Shard, which will increase the number that we have. And those will be pretty handy for what we want to do next. We got to that tower where the giant is. We made friends with the giant, even though we were technically already friends. And now, we are actually going to go to the middle part of that tower to access kind of an optional bonus area. So first, we need to reinforce. Great. And I always just like to just double-check, make sure this is the same. Can we reinforce our claymore? We can. We can actually do it once, so we'll make it a +2. The Titanite requirements went up a lot in this game, but they drop like candy. They are all over the place. As you can see, Grey Rat left to... Oh, no, he's not... He hasn't left yet.
She was already dead.
Curl up, get a gesture from him.
Heavens.
So he's a little upset. That's what happened there. We've got this guy over here. Did we die recently? I don't know. This is a new session for me, so I forget.
I would do anything.
Nope, we have not. When you die, you have to die a certain amount of times, but each time you can go there and draw some more true strength from the dark soul within us. Nothing really of note. No other real business. Glad we upgraded the claymore to +2. That's always good.
Yet to give in, eh?
You've got some new dialogue.
Good. The firekeeper must be twitching with delight. But what do you really know about these Lords of Cinder? These supposed legends? Let's take Aldridge, for one. A right and proper cleric. Only he developed a habit of devouring men. He ate so many that he bloated like a drowned pig, then softened into sludge. So they stuck him in the Cathedral of the Deep. And they made him a Lord of Cinder, not for virtue, but for might. Such as a lord, I suppose. But here I ask, do we have a sodding chance?
Not particularly. So, he gave us a really, really nice lore dump on Aldrich of the Deep. One of the main Lords of Cinders that we have to deal with. And we'll be dealing with him second. He is a really, really good example of these games' tendencies to give you a major villain, some major obstacle, but actually the real intrigue occurs all around them. Like, Aldrich is a major foe, Lord of Cinder. He's a major figure in the lore of the world, but he is really secondary to some of the bigger things that are happening around him. There are some really interesting characters that get involved with Aldrich for the purpose of this game. One of those being Pontiff Sullivan, who we have not encountered yet, but we will as we get closer to the Cathedral of the Deep, and definitely Irithyll of the Boreal Valley. We have actually already seen a figure from the Boreal Valley, Bort, as I'll call him from now on, Bort of the Boreal Valley. He is one of the Outrider Knights, as we have discussed, who was sent out by Pontiff Sullivan, actually, from the Boreal Valley, for some purpose, and we're not entirely sure what that purpose is at this point in the game. I have some guesses, but either way, Pontiff Sullivan is one of those figures that, like Velka, or, what's his face from Dark Souls 2? Aldia, that's his name. He's got a lot of interesting lore that makes him super important to what happens in the game. It's, in effect, making him probably the central figure of this game. Look at you sneaking up on me like that. Look at you. Let's get you. Get one in. Gotcha. Much easier this time. So you see now down at the bottom, I've got 7 Estus flasks and a +1 attached to it. It just increases the efficiency so that I will get more health from each swig. So we are going to go back to this tower. Up top is the giant. That's where we ended the last episode and started this episode. But we are actually going to be dropping off at about the midpoint. And Sigurd over here should no longer be here. He should have figured out the puzzle by now. Looks like he did. So we actually need to activate that. That'll go back down. And then this is actually one of the trickier little jumps in the game. Because it is about halfway up, but there's only 2 points of ingress, so we just have to time it real well. Try to mitigate some of that fall damage. Here we go. It's coming up. And I apparently missed it, so we'll get it on the way back down here. You can hear him. He's kind of humming to himself. Got it. I actually don't remember if there's any items along here. Just before we talk to him, I just want to do a quick swing around. Oh, nope, nothing. Okay. Almost fell. What's up, buddy?
Oh, don't disappear like that. You had me downright worried.
Did I now?
But thanks to you, an epiphany has struck me square in the head. I've unraveled the riddle of this inscrutable lift.
Yeah, okay.
On some days I begin to doubt myself. I went up the tower, so I thought, then somehow ended up here. I'm not exactly sure what happened.
Probably dozed off and fell off, bud.
Do you see that? That humongous beast?
He's talking about the demon that's prowling.
I have a steady hand, but that thing makes my skin crawl.
I don't blame you there.
Think twice before you go down that road.
Well, we are going to go down that road. That is a demon of chaos. There are a couple that are wandering around Lothric, the wider area around here. This is just the first that we encounter. Originally from Izalith, very reminiscent of the demon design. Let's see if we can just get a quick peek of him. Yeah, this is a little far, but very, very reminiscent of the Asylum demons from Dark Souls 1. Similar sort of design, carrying a big axe. The tail is a little bit bigger. What I like about this is that it's a lot more reminiscent of a tree, which is one of the central figures from Izalith in general. That's what happened to the Witch of Izalith when she became the Bed of Chaos. That Bed of Chaos was effectively a tree that gave life. Once again, we're seeing trees as a form of life, a form of support for the world.
Well, it's too late now.
You'll see Sigurd here actually will join us. Ooh. Gotta be careful here. He hits hard, but right now he is fixated on me. Oh no, I died! Death number what? Number 2? I'm always super sloppy on these chaos demons, to be perfectly honest. I get a little foolhardy. So this drops us off right back here. We can pop an Ember. I'm actually going to wait, because the Embers do give us full health. So if we lose any health on the way there, I could just pop the Ember closer to the point we're trying to get back to. Hop back down here. Whoa, giant rat. He followed us all the way around. Quickly. Ah ha ha ha. Can't get me much more than that. So yeah, we're gonna be taking the real shortcut routes here. Gotcha. What you can do is you can actually just run around most of these guys, which we are gonna be doing. Actually, the way you run around those guys is very similar to... I like how E&B approached it. It's a lot like a football player. You know, you give a little bit of a short run, and then you find the hole in the defenses, and you make a hard sprint for it. Really, really good analogy for how that works. It's okay, so we gotta look this way. Whoa, there we go. Okay. So now we can pop that Ember, because we are here. We only have 4, but that's okay. What's up, bud?
I could try talking some sense into him. No, I think not. He's far too overheated.
Wait, literally.
I've got to use my...
Nope, we are going in. We are going in for the kill. Got my +2 claymore. We're gonna be smarter about this. We're gonna wait for Sigurd to get down there. Do I actually have... I did grab that longbow. I cannot use the longbow at this current point in time.
No! Well...
He noticed me.
Too late now. I, Sigurd of the Knights of Katarina, fight by your side.
Give him a nice hit. So Sigurd is now part of the battle, and we do not want Sigurd to die. Sigurd will help us out in the future. But what we want is for this guy to be focused on Sigurd as much as possible. And now he's powered up. He's going Super Saiyan. Got him. Give him a little stagger. Nice thing about strength weapons. Oh shit! I got hit by the backwash on that. Sigurd can really solo this guy. And down. Great. Way to go, fucking Sigurd. Champing up, bud. He's a little tired.
That was quite a performance. But you mustn't get in over your head. We unkindled must put our duties first. But, for the moment, we've a toast to make.
Aha! And he gives us a Siegbrew.
To your valor, my sword, and our victory together.
What a badass.
Long may the sun shine.
He is such a cool dude. And he gives us the toast emote.
Well, I'm going to have myself a little nap.
Dude, you fought like one demon. We gotta keep going here. This is not exactly a safe place. Like, look at this. That ain't good. He's sleeping. Oh, jeez, he's really out. Snoring away. But he gives us a sleep emote. So it's worth talking to him a couple times just to get some of that nonsense here. Homeward Bone, handy. Gonna be hoping for a couple embers here. Lost Souls. Got our Lost Souls back. So you see now I'm rocking about 13,000 souls, whatever, 13,400 and change. There are a couple items around here. I don't actually remember what they are. I know there's an armor set around here. Large club. Actually, the large club might be good. The large club is one of the best strength scaling weapons in the game. So totally worth it. A pale tongue. Pale tongue. Let's take a look at it. Where are you? There you are. Proof of a Red Orb's invaders' victories over a host of embers. Claiming tongues as trophies was originally the practice of an infamous troop of invaders who offered them to their speechless goddess. So this is the Rosaria's Fingers Covenant. This is their covenant item. We'll actually be giving this to a guy that we saw at Firelink Shrine, Leonhard. This is a vertebra shackle. This is for the mad mound makers. We fought the Hodrick back at the bridge. Only one such bone is found in the vertebra, and the mound makers believe it to be a shackle of the gods. In their minds, each victim is another connection, in addition to the family. Very, very interesting how the mound makers covenant works in the game. It's a lot of fun. And then let's check out the Siegbrew. Special brew of Sigurd of Katarina, perfect for travel in its Jolly Barrel mug. Restores HP and temporarily boosts frost resistance, kind of important. Leave it to Sigurd to discover a drink that even an undead can enjoy. Perhaps his long years spent undead have left him wanting to drain a cup or two and revel as if he were still among the living. So this tells us that Sigurd is not an unkindled, he is in fact an undead. It's similar to how everybody else was in every other game. He is not important. He is not out to claim the Lords of Cinder like us. He actually has a very interesting backstory, and we are going to be trying to get him to that point. It's a really convoluted process to get him there, and we have to backtrack a fair amount. And you see here are those guys that we saw in the cages. This is giving you actually a little bit of a hint, because this one is not a trap. But there will be ones in a couple of minutes that will be. So we make our way up here. This is just a little offshoot, but it gives us a nice peek view into the distance. There's not much beyond this world. The world drops off. It makes me think that there really isn't much of a world out there at all. Some of those mountains just might be window dressing. Because you see here, like, it just drops off, and there's clouds down there. So either we're really high up, or there just isn't land anymore. There are some implications, like, a lot of characters will hint that the world is converging upon Lothric now that the world is dying off, more or less. So all these regions that we're going to, essentially, used to be pretty far away from one another. You get that sense of that. But now they're all slowly going towards Lothric, much like what we see with the Pilgrims. So, kind of cool. Also makes sense for the level of destruction that we see, the level of collapse in the architecture, because these lands are actively moving and going away from one another. Whoa, forgot you were there. I know there's a pupper. Get you going. Gotcha. Oh, come on, I hit you. Oh, should have blocked. I hate the puppers. Gotcha. Let's top off here. Got another pupper. Man, dogs in games always give me the most trouble. Like the dogs in Transistor, those ones gave me just stupid amounts of trouble. They're so fast, and then they eventually just turn invisible. This guy is, in fact, alive. Oh, come on down. I love how fast you can throw throwing knives in this now. Come on. Gives us another fading soul. Not that important, but nice to have. And here's the rest of the trap. I just wanted to get the two guys that were closest to the chest. Human pine resin. Let's take a look at it. I'm going to try to be better about reading some of the item descriptions as we get them. Charcoal pine resin, rotted with human body fluids, temporarily applies dark to right-hand weapon, normally used in the undead settlement for preservation and burials, but can mature into this state, becoming a valuable substance, used in a certain ceremony, often seen for trade at exorbitant prices. So this is a buff item. It'll buff our weapon with dark. Some really, really cool lore ideas there. It originates in the undead settlement because this is where they basically harvest that fluid. Yeah, here we got two of these ladies. We draw her away first. Hoping to aggro her down here, because if I don't have to fight more than one of them, I'd really rather not. Come on, lady. There we go. Now she's coming. Whoop. Give her another poke. Come on, lady. Hoping to draw her out, because if you aggro both of them, then it's double the trouble for you. She's not behaving today, so we might just have to wing it. I could throw a couple more throwing knives at her. Not bad. Oof. Very vocal enemies. not necessarily a thing in these games, to have an enemy that's so widely vocal. Yes, got the backstab. Fishing for backstabs. Got her before she got that hit in. Great. And those are the major dangers over here. You had the main demon, you had a couple puppers, and then those two evangelists. A couple small traps, but otherwise nothing that'll break you too hard. We're just, now that we've got the dangers out of here, we're free to explore. Flynns Ring. Finally got another ring. Ring of Flynn, the eulogized thief. Lowering equip load increases attack bar. Flynn fought with the wind on his side and was a hero among the weak and poor, yet even his admirers knew that it was little more than an idyllic fable. So, Flynn's Ring made its debut in Dark Souls 2, and basically the way it works is that for whatever your equip load percentage is, the lower that percentage is, it gives you static increases in attack power. So if your equip load is at 20, it gives you whatever, X amount for an increase in attack power. There is another item around here that I'm looking for that is actually useful to me, and I always forget where it is, so I apologize. If this takes too long, I'll just make a cut. But it's a ring that will be huge boon for us as we go forward. But Flynn, the lore behind Flynn is very similar to like a Robin Hood fairy tale, legendary thief, made to be a little bit more than what he actually was. May have actually just been entirely fictional. That is Robin Hood. I'm trying to remember where that ring is. And I really don't want to leave here without getting it. Really don't want to do that. And I always forget where it is, without fail. Forget if it's around, it might be around back here. One of the problems with the Undead Settlement is that it is just a mass of item collection. One of the selling points for Dark Souls 3 before release is that, you get a cornucopia of weapons and rings and armor sets before you get into like the main proper game. And the Undead Settlement, I think, is that location that they were describing. There is a ton of stuff here that if you just pick apart the Undead Settlement, it will give you lots and lots of rewards. But it's incredibly tricky to find everything. There's two main paths through it, but along those two main paths, there's a couple of side paths to dead ends. Like this is one of those dead ends that we're in right now. And each one has a unique set of armor or weapons or what have you. So it must be back up here. So we'll just head back up. The high wall too has a lot of stuff. A lot of things that you might see in the late game of Dark Souls 1, which is kind of neat. These games are just incredible. The scope of these games is just, it's massive. It's massive. Huge undertakings. And I don't remember where that item is. And it's bugging me. I could always come back here, because I'm wasting enough time as it is. People are going to be screaming at me. But we'll move on for now. I could always come back here and post and take care of it again. Homeward Bone. Not a bad haul. No other items up here. Okay. So this is a tricky part. And I'm actually going to take a swig of the Estus before I make this attempt. You can make this fall if you have health like I do and you're embered, but it is an extremely dangerous fall. So what I'm going to try to do is aim for that side panel over there and see if... Yes! Okay. And that's a lot better. Now I can fall basically safely down to the bottom. Ah, this is the ring I was looking for, the Chloranthy ring. Fantastic. We are going to equip that right now. This old ring is named for its decorative green blossom, but its luster is long since faded. So this is a Dark Souls 1 ring. It basically will give you stamina regeneration at an increased rate. And here is the Mira set. We'll take a look at maybe the gloves, just for the sake here. Where are you, Mira gloves? Garb worn by Mira knights sent on journeys. These soft deerskin gloves are bestowed only upon proven knights. Knights travel afar to fulfill their sacred duties, but few are ever able to deliver on their vows. References to Lucatiel of Mira, who is a prominent figure in Dark Souls 2. You constantly see her on your journey, and if you summon her through all of the steps of her quest, you find out what her quest is, which was to save her brother, who came to this land to cure his undead curse, and it didn't quite work out for him. So here we are back on the other side of the bridge. The bonfire under the house is actually over there, and this is that little church where we have the boss, and I am gonna attempt that boss right now. I'm just actually gonna wait for these folks to move along, to saunter out of my way. Yeah, okay. Rings do have an equip load, so you want to make sure when you're equipping rings that you're not going over that equip load too much. So here we are. We are gonna attempt this boss. Oh boy. You know what? Nope. Just remembered. We got one more thing we have to do, so I'm gonna head back this way. Ah, and would you look at the time? We are at the end of the episode. So game plan for next episode, we are going to take care of some secret business with the mound makers that I totally forgot about. Then we will take on the boss, and that will be that. I will see you folks in the next episode. Bye-bye.